The Hummer is one of the most iconic and recognizable luxury vehicles in the world, known for its rugged design, powerful engine, and off-road capabilities. Originally introduced as a military vehicle to replace the Jeep for the US Army, it was later adapted for civilian use. In the early 2000s, it was the must-have accessory for celebrities and athletes, and it was a common sight in affluent neighborhoods across the country. But in 2010, all manufacturing and sales came to a halt, leaving us to ponder. What led to the downfall of this beloved icon? What happened to Hummer? Join me as we embark on a captivating journey through the rise and fall of Hummer. Discover the lessons we can learn from this iconic brand story and be prepared for a thrilling revelation. The Hummer is making a grand comeback in 2023. The Hummer story begins with its predecessor, the Humvee, high-mobility multi-purpose wheeled vehicle which was developed in the 1980s as a tactical transport vehicle for the US Army. The Army needed a new vehicle that could handle troops and cargo more effectively than the outdated Jeeps they had been using for decades. Three contractors, Chrysler Defense, AM General LLC, and Teledyne Continental, were enlisted to develop prototypes of what would become the iconic military vehicle we know today. After rigorous testing sessions, in 1983, AM General Corp was awarded a $1 billion contract from the Pentagon to manufacture around 55,000 high-mobility multi-purpose wheeled vehicles, HMMWVs, which would eventually become known as the Humvee. Long before these three companies submitted their prototypes, Lamborghini tried their hand at creating an off-road prototype called Cheetah, but their design didn't cut it. In the end, it was the Humvee's rugged construction, impressive capabilities, and unmistakable style that won out, cementing its place in American automotive history. Although mass-produced a few years later, it wasn't used in battle until the invasion of Panama in 1989. After some of its weaknesses were exposed during subsequent urban guerrilla warfare campaigns, such as the Battle of Mogadishu, the Army recognized the need to enhance the Humvee's capabilities and add protective features such as bullet-resistant glass, full armor, and a suspension. The Humvee evolved into the de facto military transport vehicle and one of the most visible symbols of the American military, with additional upgrades and changes. By 1991, 72,000 Humvees, valued at $1.6 billion, had been produced and then used frequently during the Gulf War of 1990 to 1991. The truck was especially useful in Middle Eastern conflict zones due to its ability to transport troops and cargo over rough terrain. Humvees were also used in military processions, which is how Arnold Schwarzenegger first spotted them. The persistence of former world champion bodybuilder and then Hollywood action hero Arnold Schwarzenegger contributed to the creation of the civilian model. The actor fell in love with the Humvee when it was being used on set for the 1990 action comedy Kindergarten Cop in Oregon when he witnessed Humvees passing by. Schwarzenegger claimed in a 1991 Rolling Stone interview that they brought back memories of his early years when he used to drive tanks while serving in the Austrian army. He later persuaded AM General to produce a consumer version of the truck, which arrived in 1992 under the name Hummer. Named the M998 Humvee, the bulky vehicle cost up to $100,000, and Schwarzenegger became the first civilian to own a specially made Hummer. AM General even stenciled Terminator on the model. The civilian version of the M998 Humvee, which had a high ground clearance, weighed 8,000 pounds with a powerful V8 engine and averaged less than 10 miles per gallon, remained broadly similar to its military counterpart, the Humvee. The H1 was essentially a direct translation of the military vehicle, with only a few minor modifications to make it more suitable for civilian use. These modifications included the addition of more comfortable seats, air conditioning, and a stereo system to enhance the driving experience for civilian drivers. In December 1999, General Motors saw the potential of the Hummer brand and acquired the rights to produce and market the vehicle. After the acquisition, GM promptly rebranded the truck as the Hummer H1 and released an H2 just a few years later by reframing these apparent shortcomings as signifiers of machismo. GM embraced the Hummer's tough, rugged image and marketed it as the ultimate vehicle for alpha males. With its no-frills design, intimidating proportions, and military aesthetic, the Hummer became a symbol of masculinity in an era of changing gender roles. GM's advertising initially used the tagline, "Reclaim your masculinity," which later changed to "Restore the balance" after criticism. Despite the softened language, the message remained clear. The Hummer was marketed as a solution to a perceived crisis in masculinity. In the early 2000s, Hummer emerged as one of the top automakers in the US, appealing to the needs of American consumers who desired a vehicle that was patriotic, tough-looking, and off-road capable. With its aggressive appearance and high price tag, the Hummer quickly became the must-have accessory for celebrities and athletes, and soon became a common sight in affluent neighborhoods across the country. Arnold Schwarzenegger, a well-known Hummer enthusiast, helped to popularize the vehicle and became an OG fan of the brand, amassing a fleet of the war wagons and driving them to his movie premieres. Hummer's association with the military, as well as its appearance in 32 movies from 1999 to 2000, only served to increase its brand recognition and popularity among consumers. Its widespread appeal was evident as everyone from Mike Tyson to Britney Spears was seen driving one, making the Hummer a ubiquitous presence on the streets of America. The Hummer H2 was cut behind the cab, and the chassis was extended to create a passenger section for 14, 16, or even 22 passengers. These Hummer limousines were a popular choice for events and special occasions due to their unique and luxurious design. Sales in the US jumped, hitting over 35,000 in 2003 before tapering off slightly. To keep the momentum going, GM rolled out the smaller and cheaper H3 in 2005. Sales once again spiked, and the brand recorded over 71,000 sales in 2006. Everyone was in awe of the tough and powerful design of the civilian Hummer models as they made a big arrival into the automobile world. However, the brand's sales quickly started to drop following the spike in sales with the introduction of the Hummer H3. Even GM had to discontinue the original Hummer H1 due to low sales and criticism. By 2008, Hummer's sales had dropped to just 27,485 vehicles, marking a nearly 60% drop in sales. In 2009, Hummer's sales dropped below 10,000 units, leading General Motors to seek a buyer for the brand. Despite an initial agreement to sell the Chinese firm Sichuan Tangzong Heavy Industrial Machinery for $150 million, the deal fell through due to the Chinese government's concerns over environmental protection and reducing dependence on imported oil. The collapse of the deal marked the end of the line for the Hummer brand in 2010. What is so bad about Hummer? What were the factors that contributed to the decline of the Hummer brand, which had once been a symbol of America's military might and macho persona embodied by Arnold Schwarzenegger? Environmental concerns. The Hummer H1 and H2 models, known for their poor fuel economy and high emissions, managed to avoid Environmental Protection Agency (EPA) testing. The H1 was classified as a heavy-duty vehicle, exempting it from EPA emissions testing requirements for passenger cars, while the H2 was initially classified as a light-duty truck, which was controversial as it shared many components with the Chevrolet Tahoe SUV. Hummer's negative impact on the environment was significant, as it emitted over 3 times more carbon dioxide than the average car, contributing to global warming and the release of smog-producing pollutants and dangerous particulates. Despite this, some Hummer owners were unaware of the extent of the environmental damage caused by their vehicles. As consumers became more conscious of fuel efficiency and pressed more for environmentally friendly vehicles, General Motors faced criticism from environmental groups. The Hummer brand became a symbol of automotive excess, representing a lifestyle that the Earth's climate could no longer sustain. At Economic factors. During the 2008 recession, the escalation of gas prices was a major economic factor that adversely affected many industries. The average gas price surged to a staggering $4 per gallon, making it unaffordable for many individuals to own and operate luxury vehicles. Consequently, during the recession, people tended to sell off their luxury cars, including Hummer cars, which suffered a significant decline in sales. Hummer's large size, high cost, and low fuel efficiency were not well suited for a time when gas prices were soaring. Hence, these factors contributed to the unappealing image of Hummer cars among consumers during the economic downturn. Changing consumer preferences and negative publicity. The Hummer's brand's failure to keep up with the changing consumer preferences and negative publicity led to its decline. While Tesla and other brands focused on innovation and sustainability, the Hummer remained committed to its traditional values and rugged design. One notable example of this was the introduction of the Tesla Roadster in 2008, a fully electric sports car that appealed to environmentally conscious consumers. This significant development drew customers away from the Hummer brand, which couldn't compete in terms of eco-friendliness and fuel efficiency. Ultimately, Hummer's reluctance to embrace newer trends and its adherence to an outdated image and values contributed to its downfall in the market. Hummer is back. The iconic brand that was once synonymous with ruggedness, power, and gas guzzling is now reborn as an electric super truck that promises to be more eco-friendly, innovative, and futuristic. For a decade, it seemed like the end of the road for Hummer. But in 2020, General Motors surprised the world by announcing that Hummer would make a comeback as an electric vehicle under the GMC marquee. The new Hummer EV line would consist of a pickup truck, SUT model, and an SUV model, both powered by an Ultium battery pack that would provide up to 830 horsepower, 11,500 pound-foot of torque, and 314 miles of electric range. The new Hummer EV line was introduced in October 2020 with the unveiling of the pickup truck model. The SUV model was revealed in April 2021. Both models are on sale, with the pickup truck starting at $79,995 and the SUV starting at $105,595. The Hummer EV can also be fast-charged to 80% in just 10 minutes. The Hummer EV's return is a major coup for General Motors. The Hummer brand is one of the most recognizable in the world, and its return is sure to generate a lot of excitement. The Hummer EV is also a key part of General Motors' plan to electrify its lineup. The company is betting that the Hummer EV will appeal to a wide range of consumers, from off-road enthusiasts to those who are simply looking for a powerful and luxurious electric vehicle. Despite losing popularity because of environmental concerns and various other factors, the unique hulking Hummer still holds a special place in automotive history. As GM brings back this iconic off-roader as an all-electric SUV, the future remains uncertain. But if its past reinventions are any indication, the Hummer is full of surprises. This larger-than-life vehicle has continually adapted to changing times, and its next chapter promises to be transformative yet again. So, there you have it. The story of the Hummer has undergone an epic transformation. From military workhorse to gas-guzzling pop culture icon to struggling brand, and now, potential electric comeback kid. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories like this one. Until next time, thank you for watching.